Let me know if you've been in this situation before. So you're in a group and you have to complete this project, and for the most part your teammates are doing their work, except for that one person or a couple of people that are late on updates, doesn't contribute a lot, doesn't attend group meetings, or even worse, doesn't carry their load. But come presentation slash submission time, they show up and still take some of the credit for working. That's exactly what happened to this Colombian illustrator, except she was never even part of the team to begin with. Meet Geraldine Fernandez, who fooled local news media into believing that she worked on the latest Ghibli film, The Boy and the Heron. So you guys may or may not know, The Boy and the Heron is an animation film that features Robert Pattinson that released sometime in December last year. I still haven't watched it, and some of the viewers may be in the same boat as me, so to those of you who have seen it, no spoilers please. The film itself runs for about 2 hours, and remember this key information because I'll explain why I'm mentioning this in a second. Let me pull up an article on Cartoon Brew about the story itself. I'll put the link in the description, and if your eyes are as fast as a scanner, you can see this absolutely outrageous claim here, specifically the part where it says she drew 25,000 frames for the film. Now, I'm not much of an animator, I've only ever dabbled in it for short 2 or 1 second stuff, and I'm not very good at math, so I'm not going to try calculating how many 25,000 frames is for an animated film, but I'm guessing 1, it's a lot, and 2, that's a lot of work for just one person. I mean, even if you're like super talented and work super fast when it comes to drawing, I highly doubt that you would even have the thought of drawing 25,000 frames by yourself. Seriously, when I'm working on my own drawings, sometimes my wrists and arms start hurting and have to take a day off or two. That's just for one drawing. Most of the time, completing one drawing takes several sessions across multiple days. But 25,000 frames all by yourself? Good lord, I hope you take frequent breaks. Think of your wrist. Think of the carpal tunnel. But hey, I'm not an animator, so if one of you viewers are, let me know how many frames you draw for like a 5-minute animation. Anyway, let's continue. So multiple news outlets interviewed Ms. Fernandez, such as El Heraldo and El Tiempo, which I'm guessing are big in Colombia, and actually uploaded them to YouTube. Now, according to this article from Cartoon Brew, those outlets have since taken those interviews down because holes started to pop up in her story after they published them, I guess. And I actually feel kinda bad, not for her specifically, but for her fellow Colombians who actually believed her. And the Universidad Sergio Arboleda, I hope I didn't butcher that, they extended an invitation to her to give a speech. Which I can understand because Studio Ghibli is a massive studio that's very well known in the industry and for fans alike. And for those of you who don't know, the studio is a Japanese animation studio and one of the founders is Hayao Miyazaki, who I am sure a lot of you have heard of one way or another. And for those of you who don't know who he is, Miyazaki Sensei is a Japanese animator and filmmaker who is very well known in the industry. Big name. Now, the animation studio itself, Studio Ghibli, released critically acclaimed films like Spirited Away, Castle in the Sky, and Princess Mononoke. And between you and me, I've only ever seen My Neighbor Totoro. Don't tell anyone. Now, given the context, you can understand why the university would want someone who worked for Ghibli to give a speech, especially if one of the animators was a local. So when the story started circulating online, actual pros in the animation industry, I guess, kind of locked onto the story and started dissecting and dismantling her claim, starting off with the credits and the movie itself. Which I guess is the only thing you need to disprove her claims. It's like the silver bullet to her story. Like, girl, for real, if your name isn't in the credits, that should really give everything away. Like, how does she not know that credits exist? Anyone in the animation / entertainment industry knows that credits are there for a reason. But to be fair, I guess a lot of people don't really care for ending credits and skip over it altogether. But still, how? What's even more obnoxious is that Ms. Fernandez would go on to claim that Miyazaki Sensei gave her the nickname the Colombian as if they were on buddy-buddy terms. I guess to her credit, if you really wanted to sell a story, you would have to add some secret sauce or some secret spices to it. It's like when you were growing up, for us non-Westerners anyway, and whenever you would wake up late to school, your parents would scold you. Not only scold you, but regale to you the hardships they went through just to get to school, such as having to cross mountains, navigating jungles, wading through treacherous waters, all at the brink of dawn just to get some education. I guess if he said that to a child, they would probably believe it because children are, after all, quite impressionable. However, tell that to an adult, they would probably have some doubts. But Miss Geraldine Fernandez must have really sold the story if it went this viral. Anyway, back to the credits. Cartoon Brew went ahead and asked G-Kids, who distributed The Boy and the Heron in America, if there were some validity to her claims. And, hold on to your seats now, they said that no, her name does not appear anywhere in the credits. Now, some would say that she's in a bit of a bind at this point. I say she is not only in binds, she's in deep water now, and the riptide has taken a hold of her and there's no escape. But she's committed to the bit, and she doubles down on her claims. Last week, on Monday, she was interviewed by a streamer and game journalist going by the name Kate Sith. I'll leave a link to the stream recording in the description. It's about 3 hours long and it's all in Spanish. So during the interview, they were talking about the claims Ms. Fernandez made about working on the film, where she, time and again, said that she did in fact work with the studio. Unfortunately for her, when asked for proof, she couldn't provide any. So I'll pull up a screenshot of the stream here. As you can see, Kate Sith actually went to the IMDb site for The Boy and the Heron and went ahead to the animation department section. I'm guessing this is where he confronts her about the claims and decided to say, "Nah, I have the proof right over here." But still, she decides to double down. Back to the Cartoon Brew article, it says over here that as skepticism accumulated, she was also accused of stealing art and posting it to her DeviantArt portfolio. Guys, AI might be stealing from artists now, but the ancient enemy of artists return. The humans who claim others' work as theirs. Not like they ever left anyway, but the point still stands. Kate Sith also addressed this issue in the interview, and here's another screenshot I took. As you can see, here's the portfolio in question, which has now been deleted. Again, when confronted, Ms. Fernandez powers through, still trying to sell the story, saying the illustrations are all mine. Although she does admit that only one of the pieces wasn't hers. Poor Kate Sith, look at him. He looks so unimpressed and done. It's like when you've been on a losing streak in a game and one of your teammates decides to rush the enemy team solo and gets knocked down. Kate Sith, if you're watching this, I hope you've recovered from this interview. Now it says here that Cartoon Brew did in fact reach out to Ms. Fernandez for a comment, but was left on red, I guess, because they never got an answer. However, since the controversy blew up and her story dismantled, it seems that she has released an apology letter, saying that she regrets her actions, but let's take a look at some of the things that irked me about the apology. The situation got out of hand, and it became more difficult to backpedal. I mean, you could have not lied in the first place, and when the press contacted you, you could have said, "Oh no, I was just exaggerating, I didn't actually work on the film." And then you wouldn't have your face on the internet, and your face wouldn't be known for weaving together a fabricated lie that was easily dismantled. The media didn't bother to validate the claims. Again, referred to my previous point, and you shouldn't have pushed and turned this into a snowball effect. But I also agree with her on this. As someone who worked on the school newspaper in the past, I can't help but ask myself, what are these journalists doing? What happened to investigating and verifying before publishing? To that, I will give her some credit. Always do a smidgen of research before coming to a conclusion. Even more so if your findings are going to be seen by the public. Before I finish off, this incident actually made it on the Ghibli subreddit. I'll post a link in the description. There's another interesting piece of information, it's kind of funny actually. She claimed that she has a master's degree from Tokyo, but when she presented it, it was just a certificate in Japanese for a ceramics course. Anyway, just wanted to talk about this story, try something new for the channel, and this isn't a hit piece or anything on Ms. Fernandez. I just found this story a little funny and interesting. And I hope this serves as a lesson for the major parties involved. Like, Ms. Fernandez should take this incident to heart and better herself, no more spinning a web of lies. As for the news outlets, please do a better job at investigating claims. Thankfully, this wasn't a massive issue overall and was resolved relatively quickly. Anyway, if you managed to stick around this far, thank you for watching the video. If you somehow managed to skip to this part of the video, hey, how's it going? Let me know if you guys like this type of content and what other types of content you would like to see from me. Anyway, that's all I have for today. See ya.